is ready to go. Let's step into the batter's box with Welt and Rheaume. And of course, our Welt and Rheaume text line at 855-912-1056. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing great. How was practice today? I saw
It
a
was
lot of
fun.
highlights, it seemed like
Yeah,
today.
sweaty, but fun. Tua looked good. So, it's the offense looked good. Tyreek just drove Darius. He slayed Darius all day long. He made him look really silly many times. That guy, it's one thing seeing him on television, but watching him live in practice every day, I've never seen anything like it. He's like an Otani. It's just you've never seen speed like this change directions ever. It's
Yeah.
just a freakish thing, bro. And I've seen a lot of fast guys, but fast guys that can change direction at a top end speed, that's very rare, man. And this guy, he drives corners crazy. Forget about it.
I-
One on one, you can't cover him.
Yeah,
Can't.
I like the Eagles though. I think the Eagles are going to be good.
I just think it's really up to it's the same thing as here. It's up to the quarterback and the
Pretty
offense. They've
much.
got to figure that out pretty much, and then can be a good team. I agree with you there. They can be a good team, but it's
Yeah.
going to be a lot like that.
You know,
By the way, go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead. What were we going to
No,
say?
interestingly enough, the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles is Howie Roseman,
Mm-hmm.
and Howie and I went to college together. So he's in town. I'm hoping we get together this weekend.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right. By the way, are the Angels fans celebrating right now? Artie Moreno is thinking of selling the Angels. This is a man that his I don't know, his history is you got two of the greatest players land on your team and you don't know how to maximize it. I mean, Artie Moreno, in my eyes, is known best for lowering beer prices. Like, that's his greatest accomplishment.
Yeah,
Seriously, lowering beer prices. But he was so inept with Trout and Otani. You have two generational players, and Otani's not even generational. He's like, I don't what they said. What in Dallas they had a 1 in 1,000 year storm. Well, that's what Otani is, a 1 in 100 year player, and you can't find a way to build a really good team with those two guys. I mean, damn.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to get it fixed. Part of this, listen, this is not taking away anything from Artie, but you have to also throw shade at his sons because over the last few years, it's really been them. It hasn't been him as much.
Okay, whatever.
And it's
The
just
Moreno family.
it's just
Okay.
the truth as to what's going on. Now, he may have the final say on everything, but over the last few years, his sons have been heavily involved in this. And I think what tells you that this isn't working correctly is when you go to another organization like the Braves, like the Angels did, and they take their assistant general manager away from arguably one of, if not the best run franchises. Can we agree on the Atlanta Braves?
Yes. Oh,
Than any
yeah.
other, and even
Yeah.
he can't get it fixed, right? So I'm fearful for Angels fans that the Angels are going to do like a Cubs and a Red Sox, which is before you go out and you re-spend the money again, you sort of tear down and start over. And I think that anybody that comes into town as the general manager may end up doing that. So I'm a little concerned, and I'm afraid for Angels fans that you're going to be looking at a team with Trout and nothing else for a while again. So we'll see.
Dysfunction function. That's their junction. By the way, the Trout thing, we're not really going to see the real Trout for the rest of his career, correct?
I'm not so sure. It was upplayed and then downplayed. I think next year is going to be a better indication. I don't. I mean, look, he's been hurt now
And
2 years in
then
a
we'll
row. So.
decide if it's downplayed or upplayed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we'll have to wait and see.
Right.
Yeah,
That's sad,
hard to
dude.
say.
What's his condition or injury that he has? Do you remember what it
I'm
is? Because
not.
I remember
It's
reading
something
about
with
it.
his back, I think.
Yeah, something a couple weeks ago I read about it. It was just sad, man. It's just everything about that is sad because yeah, listen, as much as we bitch and complain that the effing Dodgers or the Astros or the Yankees or the Mets or whatever get all these players that leave all these Well, dude, they're willing to pay for these players and they're willing to put together good teams. To watch what Trout has had to go through his entire career in that organization, and now a guy like Ohtani, this is the reason why maybe we shouldn't be so pissed off at the Dodgers. I know we should be maybe pissed off at Major League Baseball. They should have like a hard cap for everybody. But if you're not going to build a team, then yeah, man, treat us to Ohtani in a really good team so we can actually see him in the postseason and doing some great things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and hopefully that is the case, but the Angels are going to be very murky moving forward because again, are they selling the team? Do they have a buyer? Who is the owner? Does he want Ohtani? Does he not want Ohtani? Like the
Did
same
you
thing
read
went
the
on
shady shit about the whole thing with the stadium?
with the Angels.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Oh, there
anything
was
on
some
that.
dirty stuff. Some guy, I think the mayor of Anaheim or whatever is like in serious trouble or something. There was some rig about the sale of that stadium or transfer of that stadium.
I didn't see that.
Look it up. I read about that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, everything about that whole situation, dude, is just so twisted on that team. And dude, you're in the same area with Los Angeles and the Padres. You know,
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. The Pujols story. How cool is this? The season he's having, the bunch. What does he have? I think I read 7 home runs in his last 10 games. Just hit 693. Overall. Obviously, everybody's looking for him to hit the 700 mark. But in fact, one of our listeners, she was at the St. Louis game the other day when he hit the grand slam. Actually, so I mean, these are the cool things that happen in baseball. It's a really nice story to see him in a St. Louis uniform doing this. I like it.
Yeah, he needs 7 home runs. It seems doable. He's obviously not going to be as hot as he was the last 2 weeks, but the Cardinals do play the Pirates a bunch of times and they play the Reds, and you would think that he's got a legit shot. I mean, I can't say it's going to happen for sure. I mean, that would be silly to assume that. And if you would ask me a month ago, I would have said he had no chance whatsoever. But he plays a lot against left-handed pitching. He's been hitting home runs against lefties, against righties too. So you would say that he's got a pretty good shot to do it, which would be cool. Absolutely.
If you hit 153 home runs for a team, do you deserve getting your number retired?
This is for Pujols, you mean?
No, he hit a lot more than that.
Yeah,
If you hit 153 home runs for a team, do you deserve to get your number retired?
You're going to have to give me more context.
Is there 924 RBIs in it? Do you deserve to get your number retired?
I need to know who it is, man.
Now, here's where you will agree. Paul O'Neill got his number retired, Mr. Clutch, because he was a clutch some bitch. But if I tell you he played 9 years, 153 home runs, 924 RBIs, you're like, yeah, those are good stats, but I wouldn't retire a guy's number. But then I tell you Paul O'Neill, and then you get the context of the situation, the games he was in, the moments he was in, how he came through. And, he was also clutch with the Reds too, by the way, before he got to the Yankees. But I'm just saying, after I tell you it's Paul O'Neill, then what do you say after that?
Yeah, look, I think that I mean honestly, are Jeff Conine's numbers as good as Paul O'Neill's? And I would think that we should be retiring Jeff Conine's number here. So
well, that's different too. Again, great point on your part, because the stats aren't overwhelming, but you're part of the expansion team. You're part of both championships. You won the MVP in the All-Star game. You're the most successful Marlin in history. So yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And hell, you got a legacy player now in the franchise too at the same time. So, it's a great point on your part. That's why I mentioned, that's why I started with the stats, because the stats kind of cloud it. But then when I say Paul O'Neill, that's when you say, okay, no, dude, did you watch Paul O'Neill? That's because you can't question it once I say Paul O'Neill. Correct.
And by the way, I would look at Keith Hernandez's numbers and tell you they're probably similar too.
Cocaine Keith Hernandez, yeah. You are correct.
What is the common denominator with O'Neal and Hernandez
Well,
that got their number?
one didn't do coke.
No, it had nothing to
Oh,
do
I'm
with it.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
The
sorry.
common denominator
Mustache?
between
Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, 1 out of 2. You want an eighth guess?
Oh, I'll never get it. So go ahead. I'm just
Okay.
having fun.
It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. But if you don't
Okay.
want to guess, I'll give it to you.
Go ahead. Give it to us.
They're on TV with the organization.
Oh, God. Damn. Okay. All right.
Let's
Let's
take it a step further.
That
If
was
Paul
so
O'Neal
easy that I would have never gotten it.
If Paul
It was too
O'Neal is not
obvious.
working for Yes Network and he's working for the Reds Network, and Keith Hernandez is not with the Mets the last 10 years, 15 years, and he's working with the Cardinals Network, are they both retiring their numbers? The answer? No.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's
That's
true.
crazy. No, but I'm just saying, it's just it's I love how you've put it all together. That's fantastic.
That's what it is.
I know.
And I like both players, by the way, too.
Yeah, no, I mean, how do you not respect what they did on the field, man? Those guys were really good players, and when you needed them, they came through. And that's it. Hey, one more thing before I let you go. Philosophically, is there any chance we ever go back to baseball being what it used to be? Or are we stuck in this home run strikeout zone? Because it's funny how everyone my age reminisces about stealing bases and opposite field hits and and manufacturing runs and things that and bunting, which is almost like a lost art, all these kind of things. And I know that sports sometimes gets in a cycle, and sometimes there are cycles that they come back. Any chance that comes back, or do you just see it evolving from this where it's at right now?
I think the shift is going to go away. So I think that's going to change things. They're going to have players where you can only stand in a certain spot. You're going to start to see more players trying to hit the ball on the ground. So naturally, that's going to change things, and it's going to have more action. What percentage of action will that change? Will it be 5%? Will it be 10%? I think the commissioner is probably hopeful for 10 or 15%. To me, that's significant. There's going to be a pitch clock in play where if you don't throw a pitch in 30 seconds, you're going to automatically get called a ball. There's going to be more action going that way too. I think there will be improvements. I don't think we're ever going to get back to what it was. It's a good question on your part in the sense that I was thinking about this the other day, that like if I was like we could use the Marlins as an example.
I tried to stay away in this whole segment. Now you fucked it up. Damn it. Come on, bro. I brought you a hell of a baseball segment here where we had
No,
fun.
I want to use them as an example.
And you had to bring up the damn Marlins.
I'll bring up the A's. Let's use the A's.
I'm just busting balls, bro.
Right.
That's just my
So if you're not hitting home runs and you get to the point where it's very obvious you can't score, it would be great to construct your team that you could just steal a lot of bases,
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned the old days. So Vince Coleman is a buddy of mine. I would hire Vince Coleman, and I'd be like, all right, because Ricky Henderson ain't coming anywhere for 50 grand. That ain't happening. But would you say that Vince Coleman was probably the second best stealer in that time? Probably, right?
Yeah,
there's no one that does it anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely Vince Coleman. McGee had a little run.
McGee, Raines, right? Those are the guys.
Oh yeah. Oh,
but is Rock Raines coming anywhere for 50 grand anymore? No. Okay.
Huh?
He made so much money, Raines. He's not coming anywhere for that. So I'd hire Vince Coleman in spring training, and I'd be like, here's the deal. We want all our guys to steal. Now I know we're going to have a few guys that are not going to do that. We're going to have a big, some, Garrett Coopers and Solairs. But I want our guys to be all ready to steal bases this season. Because if we don't hit home runs, I want to be able to be on second after the first or second pitch. And pitchers are really not good throwing over to first base. In general, they are not.
Again,
so
lost art.
That's got to be something.
Everything's a lost art in this damn sport.
Orlando, do you know what pitchers do not do ever? Do you know what teams don't do? Have you noticed this? The last 5 years, 4 years, they don't pitch out. Teams don't pitch out anymore. Ever.
That's right. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of the thinking part of baseball has almost it slowly but surely has been kind of taken out. You know what I mean? And that's the part that kind of that was the beauty of this effing game. It's the mental part of it, bro. It's the manager thinking an inning ahead and thinking about what he's going to do, and and the double switches and moving runners over, and and trying to
Yeah,
fake out
agreed.
the opponent, and when you're going to lay a bunt and all those kind of things. And everything is just so different now. It's very simple. It's actually a very simple game now. They're taking the thinking away from the play. It reminds me a lot of college football, where the 11 idiots stand and look over at a sign. And so they look at 8 signs, and so everybody knows, but nobody knows like when you get to the NFL, they teach the quarterback everybody's position pretty much. So they got to know what everybody else is doing. In college, you don't have to do that. Oh, the card says, I've got to do this. Okay, I'll do that. And then it's just a puzzle that comes together because they don't have to think for themselves. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad. They can't see the blitz coming, and they can't cut it off themselves. They have to go by whatever's on the card. It's just we don't trust the quarterbacks. You and I grew up, quarterbacks were on the field calling the entire game. Marino didn't have to. You sent in a play, 80% of the time he didn't run it.
That's true.
Jim Kelly was running whatever the hell he wanted, and so was all these other guys. And what do they do now in college football and the NFL? No, they've got to run everything. They've got to call every play. Forget giving the reins over to the coach. I mean, to the quarterback. Why? Because my job's on the line.
Yeah, we only have 2 guys left.
We're dumbing football down.
Brady.
We're dumbing baseball down. It's it's sad, man. It's sad. It
Hey,
sucks.
but our shows are good.
Damn right. Damn right. Damn right. Tell them about the Sports Grid, another kick-ass show.
All right,
Show.
Sports Grid,
Show.
tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're previewing one team in fantasy football every single day right up until kickoff on September the 8th. That's 11 o'clock Eastern every day. And then at 2 o'clock Eastern, I'm hosting on Newswire, which is a show about sports betting, but not about just like making picks. It's about understanding the legalization of sports betting around the United States, which states are next, which states are falling behind, which of the providers are going into different areas, and sort of the evolution of sports betting in the United States. It's a huge, huge deal. And then, of course, we talk about everything else, but that's the primary focus. That's 2 o'clock Eastern every day. And then next week, I'll have a column for the Herald. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but they pay me for it, so I'll figure it out.
That's why I left the Marlins off this segment, because what the hell else am I going to talk about with them? There's nothing to talk about, and it's all negative. You just kind of get tired of that.
It's no fun.
You know what I mean?
It's no fun.
We went in another direction today. All right, follow him on Twitter at Craig Mish. Craig, as always, much love, man. We'll catch up next week. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great week.
You got it. There you go. We step out of the batter's box.